Well, we have totally done all the damage we can do here, so we got to class this place up a little bit. And to do that, we're going to bring in Jourdan Black from 29's Sports, who's with us here on the hotline on Ruskin and Zach. Jourdan, good afternoon.
Did you just call me classy?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You sound surprised.
Happy game week.
Happy game week. Yes. We wish you could come in here and visit with us, but we know there's a little there was an incident that occurred, but anyway, that's all right. That's all water under the bridge now.
Since I have this platform right now, I'll tell you about another incident. We're missing the stuffed animal goat at 4029.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know, maybe your viewers can help us out, your listeners, I guess. We had a stuffed animal goat because the real one, we had a mishap with that. But now the stuffed animal goat is missing.
Who would be on the short list of suspects? Because this is the stuffed animal. I'm assuming was in the newsroom, so it's got to be an inside job.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Darby is number one.
Right. Okay.
But I wouldn't just say outright that it's Darby. My number two has got to be the new guy, Brandon. Right.
Yep.
You just go with whoever's new.
It's the entire weather department, Jourdan, is what we're getting at. It's the criminals and the vagrants over in the weather center.
Well, yeah, and Brandon's news.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he took it into the newsroom. I don't know. There's a number of suspects. It's definitely a big issue. Maybe Paige is pranking me, or the pranksters pranking. I don't know.
The Jedi and the Padawan
right
here. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You see what I'm dealing with?
All right, we'll put out an APB for the missing goat.
Office hijinks.
So much. Thank you.
Now
I knew I came on here for a reason.
Now what's going to happen is the station's going to be inundated with people sending plush goats.
Right. Guys, if you've got any stuffed goats, please send them to 4029 care of Jourdan.
That's right, yes.
Subject line news tip.
Right. Exactly.
Subject line news tips.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got a football game coming up on Saturday. The news is, I guess, on this injury front and trying to decode what's really going on, because they're not going to tell anybody, of course, what's going on with particularly with Treylon Burks, and is he going to be effective? Will he play at all? It's all kind of up in the air right now.
Yeah, and they really haven't let a lot on, but I don't know how much it matters, right? If he's even a little bit hurt, do you risk it? Do you just hold him back against this team that only played 5 games last year? And I know last year is last year, but do you just kind of not risk your star, stud, wideout and star of the team from getting injured in game one? The same way you're not going to play your stud transfer defensive lineman. I know they said John Ridgway is unlikely to play, and then Treylon Burks is questionable, but to me, questionable is kind of like, why risk it, right? I don't know, maybe that's kind of a passive approach, but I think maybe we'll know a little bit more tomorrow. I think Coach let us on that we might know more on Wednesday in terms of depth chart finalization, but maybe you don't let on at all. And maybe that's also kind of not thinking as much of Rice as we should. But I don't know. I think maybe you take kind of a conservative approach and hold him out if he's at least a little banged up.
I agree with you. I think that's right.
If he does not play, the entire focus of that offense shifts to a guy who is starting for the third time in his career? He started LSU and then the Missouri game, KJ.
KJ, yeah.
This would be his third career start, and everything now falls on KJ Jefferson. That's a lot of pressure for a guy making his third career start.
Yeah. I'm just so eager to see him. I think as someone who is an eternal optimist, I think there's been so much talk about, is KJ ready? Is he physically ready? Right? He's talked about he still needs to drop weight, and he's not necessarily as mobile because he still has a few pounds to drop. But we really just don't know. Like we saw him at Mizzou, and at Mizzou, frankly, he was really good. They didn't win, but he had 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air. That's pretty good for a freshman last year. So I'm excited to see him. Am I saying he's going to be incredible in game one, and is he physically and mentally ready for this role Saturday? Probably not yet, but is anybody? I don't know if you're quite ready in game one. So I'm excited to see him actually. And I do think as he does get more physically ready, however long that takes, hopefully not too long, I think he'll only progress.
Jourdan Black's our guest here from 29's Sports on Ruskin and Zach. The offseason is strange, and confidence is strange because, in the last 5 years, they have the worst record in the SEC. They're 7-35. Yet people are excited. People, if you dare question anything, they're getting upset. There's an article today that says KJ's the worst quarterback in the league. People are mad about that. There's an energy in spite of the fact that they have not had a lot of recent success. It's college football, I guess.
Yeah, that is college football. Actually, we were having a conversation in the newsroom earlier this afternoon. Arkansas and Nebraska are seemingly similar. If anybody watched the Nebraska and Illinois game this past weekend, Scott Frost is on the hot seat this season, right? And Nebraska's in a similar situation to Arkansas, where they're the thing in the state. They're the team to watch, and they haven't been great in 20-something years, but the fan base is behind them. The state is behind them, and whenever they do anything, everyone's talking about it. I think Arkansas is similar in that it's the thing to do and talk about in the state. It's why we love covering the Hogs. It's why we do what we do. And whether that's their record or not, fans are going to be behind them. I think that's what is the amazing thing about Razorback fans. But I think record aside, and the fact that they're the only team in the state aside, right, in the SEC, no, dissing to the smaller teams in the state. But I think the big thing, and as cliche and coach speak as it is the buy-in is so different. Isn't the vibe different? 2 years ago, we were talking on the radio, and the Chad Morris buy-in and the team vibe was not good. The team did not think that they could win. The team was not going into any game ready to roll. So just the fact that they have the confidence means that they're worlds ahead of where they were this time 2-3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I've been banging the drum on all offseason is defensive ends. They've got to learn. They have to get pressure. And, when the depth chart came out, it was kind of striking that 3 of last year's 4 starters were on the second team. Now, having talked to enough defensive line coaches, they're in a rotation, and they're putting guys together that work well together. So all these guys are going to play. But where is the pass rush coming from? Dorian Gerald's listed as a starter. We've been waiting 3 seasons for this guy to do anything, and he's always out early. Where's the pressure coming from? Because if you don't get pressure on the quarterback in today's spread offenses, you're a sitting duck. People will put points on you.
I think part of that is this multiple fronts trying to kind of surprise offenses, attack or attempt of, like you said, with this depth chart coming out and being like, kind of, we're going to surprise you. We're still going to try to do our best and change things up. And they still have said that they are not really sure, are they going to play 1 or 2 defensive ends. I was actually working on a story about that today. And I think it was Zach Williams or Eric Gregory saying whether they play 1 or 2, their pressure to the quarterback is better. Now, they're only playing each other so far, so only game time will tell. But that is like the question that remains to be seen. And I think that's like the biggest question is, are the offensive and defensive lines ready? The offensive line is bigger, yes, but bigger compared to Arkansas is relative. Bigger compared to the rest of the SEC is a different story.
Talking with Jourdan Black here on Ruskin and Zach. Let's get to the fun stuff here because I've been made aware that there's a wager between you, a proud North Carolina alum, and Zach here, a Notre Dame apologist, not an alum, but an apologist nonetheless.
Right?
On this not an alum.
No.
He's not an alum, but there's going to be a game on October 30th in South Bend, and you two have a wager of some sort.
Well, I feel bad because North Carolina has never beaten them in our lifetimes, and I feel like it's not fair. But we went down to Chapel Hill last year and kicked that ass, and now they're coming to us.
I was so confident last year too. I remember my dad who is like the biggest Florida Gators fan and has become like the second biggest Tar Heels fan, being so excited and pumped for the game. And I think it was Thanksgiving weekend with everything shifting. And we were so pumped and then so disappointed. Mm-hmm. But this year's team is so different. We're talking about year 3, Sam Howell, baby. It is Sam Howell season. I mean, if you're not excited to see that guy, whether as just a college football fan in general, I mean, I'm so excited. I think his receiving core is solid. I'm pumped for this team. But our wager, we're going to see Zach rock some Carolina blue.
Okay.
When the Tar Heels win. And if the Tar Heels lose, if we're green the next day, which means I can't stand at the green screen. Monday,
you'll be a floating head on the sports there.
Exactly. I didn't think about that. But that's the wager. And just to clarify, Zach, I mean, it's a pretty good deal on your end because Carolina blue looks good on everyone.
Right, and Zach's not on television,
That's
so
also true.
we'll have to take a picture of him.
That's also
he'll have to wear it for like 5 seconds. I mean, you take the picture.
Hey, have you been following?
I said Zach had to eat something with his hand.
Well, we tried that one time, and it was he almost blew
died.
chunks all over the studio. It wasn't good.
Hey, have you been following this thing with the New York Mets?
Oh, I thought you were going to bring up the Ohio football thing.
Well, we can do that, too.
Well, I'm getting to that.
Dealer's choice.
But we're dealing with some breaking news right now. This thing with the Mets, the Mets and their fans are sort of fighting here. And did you see?
The thumbs down.
Right.
Thumbs down.
So today, the guy who started all of this scored the winning run in a game against the Marlins.
Yeah.
But according to Anthony DeComo of the New York Post, a search party is on the field at Flushing because Javi Baez apparently lost some jewelry sliding across the plate. The entire Mets staff, ground crew, and Sandy Alderson, president of the New York Mets, are out there searching for this piece of lost jewelry.
Only the Mets.
Do you think that episode of The Kardashians where Kim loses her diamond earring?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think if you lost an earring, you could get anybody in that newsroom to help you look for it?
Oh, I mean, I'm like Miss Congeniality. I could get everyone.
Okay, let me rephrase. Let me rephrase that. Could Darby, if he lost an earring, get anyone to help him look?
Oh. Okay, wait. What do you mean? I mean, Darby's the brand, the face of the franchise. But yes, you're right. Like I understand what you're saying.
And Darby's the brand.
If he lost something, would anyone help? A tie clip, let's just
clicker.
say. Yeah, the clicker.
Right.
You ever go up to that thing and just take the batteries out?
Oh, that's got to be that's sacred, right? You can't mess with the weather clicker, right?
No, I've always wanted to. I always tried to mess with Taylor Pinnell's, and he wouldn't let me. Now he doesn't even work in weather, so
well,
maybe
I
he would let me.
I know for a fact underneath the weather desk there are cords that are in a power strip. If you just went in and turned that off, you could wreak some havoc.
Well, the thing to do to mess with Darby is to turn up the thermostat because he keeps it at like a cool 66 in the studio.
Okay.
He would not have liked it in here when for 70 days it was 90 degrees then. He likes it at 66 in the studio. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. You know, the other thing about 4029 is anytime like it rains really hard, you can hear it on TV in your studio.
Oh my gosh, yes. Imagine being here.
It is so loud when it rains there. It's just fantastic.
Really, really loud. All right, so let's talk about Bishop Sycamore.
Yes.
Because I'm sure that you've sort of followed this. I just want to get kind of your feeling on this because Ruskin and I, we think this might be the greatest sports story of the last 10 years.
It's amazing.
It is so nuts. So I can't believe it was I was watching it on TV, and I was watching my high school on TV this weekend too, St. Thomas Aquinas. Big win. And then I'm like, okay, like high school football on TV, common all the time, right? IMG Academy is great at football. They should put up a big-time win over really any opponent. But when you see that and then you hear the commentators start being like, we have no information on these players, and then you're like, wait, they played on Friday and they're playing Sunday, and then you see all this stuff on Twitter, and then you're like, wait, this is fake. So then going through Twitter, I was just talking to Mitch about this. We were like, we have to be careful about should we retweet this because is it like a The Onion article? Is it actually fake? Like, did this actually happen? And I was joking about it with my dad, too, because we were like, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. And I don't know who it looks worse for, the school or ESPN.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's the school based on the coach has a bench warrant out for him and some other stuff.
And he got fired after.
Right.
The
And he
game.
got fired from a fake job.
Right.
It's bizarre.
Right.
Yeah,
And the kids are in JUCO or they're JUCO dropouts.
Yeah, the JUCO dropouts. There's a guy on the roster that's 24 years old.
I just can't, it really is the greatest prank of all time pulled off that no one spilled the beans. Everyone was like, all right, come together. We're going to play this game. We have uniforms. We have headsets. We have pads. We're going to play 2 games in 3 days. You guys run some plays, get on TV, pretend you're in high school, and see what happens. And no one say anything. And they did it. I mean, until after the fact, but they did it at the time.
Oh,
you said you went to St. Thomas Aquinas, right?
I did.
That's a football factory.
It is. Very, very proud alum.
Sam Young is my boy. Who's the most famous football alum out of Aquinas?
I had this conversation this weekend. Probably the Bosa boys, Nick Bosa and Joey. But then there's Michael Irvin.
Rumor is that Daddy Bosa owns a club.
Oh, really?
That's what I've heard.
Oh, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Offline chat.
Now, if you're on a group text with the what's the mascot down there?
Raiders.
Okay, if you're on a Raiders group chat, just float that out there.
The message board.
See what you get back on that.
Right.
Report back to me on that.
I'm on it.
So
there's a lot. There's a lot of famous alum. A lot of guys in the NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl MVP James White.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Tar Heel Gio Bernard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You've had a couple. You've had a couple land at our place.
Our place.
Yeah,
South Bend.
Oh yeah,
South Bend.
a couple.
Our place. Hey, Jourdan Black's with us. The 40-29 Hog Wild special is Thursday at 6:30. Is that right?
That is right. That's our preseason special, and we appreciate the plug. We have our game day specials every Saturday at 10:30. We'll lead right into ABC College Football at 11, and we're so excited.
Do you have your box picked out that you're standing on?
The better question is, will production remember? And I should actually make a note to bring my box.
That's what I'm here for. You want me to text you Saturday? Make sure
Yes.
you have it? Okay, you got it.
TV people have been
you so
doing the
much.
egg crate challenge or the milk crate challenge
Right.
forever, standing on milk crates to
Oh my
make
God,
the
that is so true.
Is there
make the
anybody-
shot work.
Is there anybody in your office that can do that?
Milk crate challenge?
Yeah.
I mean, should I dare someone?
Yes.
Okay.
Who?
Say no more.
Who?
Craig could have done it.
Can Una do it?
You probably could. Una's
Yeah.
pretty good. Well, Allison could, right? Allison's pretty
Sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who else I would dare.
Well,
I could do it.
There you go. Well, we want to know the latest on this missing goat, so keep us informed with the late-breaking details as they become available. And,
Absolutely.
And thanks for stopping by. And we're going to have Darby on every week on Fridays to look at the weather and then just goof on him. So if you need us to participate in any pranks, let Zach know and we'll get him. We'll pull the wool over his eyes for you. Okay.
Okay, you got it. Is Darby going to give you some Friday Frenzy previews? He's been out there at football games too.
Yeah, he's going to do that, and he's going to give us some Razorback weather, and then we're just going to ask him dumb weather questions for the rest of the time, I suppose, which we usually do. But he's great about answering them, so it'll be fun.
I love it. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Jourdan.
Bye.
Jourdan Black, 40-29 Sports with
She's
us
too
here on
nice to
Ruskin
hang
and
out with
Zach.
us.
Yeah, we've got to. I want them to give us something to and we'll be involved in the pranks at Darby now too.
The start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, Bet Online is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, Bet Online has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to Bet Online and start playing today. That's Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts.